Radio. Shout it.
What's happening? Of course, you know it's your folk, Beehive Radio. Shout in. As always, I got my podcast partner in this thing, OG Gangsta Wicked, and here rocking with me. And today, hey man, we got an A-Town legend, superstar, one of the greatest to ever do this thing, Ceelo Green in the building. What's good with it, boss?
I'll take that. What's up, Black?
Hey man, you gotta get that. You gotta get that. I mean, Lo, first of all, man, you done hooked up with the mob again.
Yep.
And dropped the survival kit.
So,
can you talk to me about the team getting together in the middle of quarantine and dropping the album in this thing?
Okay. Last year, like almost around this time, like last March, this time, when the quarantine hit, you know, everybody was just kind of blindsided, man. Like, you know, it was really a surreal time. And, you know, it was just a trip to just see some of the things that we had spoken about really come to life. You know what I mean? Like, not necessarily knowing that, you know, 20 plus years later we would actually be living through it. You know what I mean? And for people to have, you know, say, you know, feel like, okay, damn, man, these guys really spoke something into existence, or, you know, something came to pass, their word, like, you know, they the prophets. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, like, you know, whatever. So I just knew that it was a season for Goody Mob at the time. You know what I mean? And the climate really called for us to speak. You know what I mean? Because, you know, in that time, like, people were really looking to us for advice, guidance, you know, some perspective, enlightenment, you know. So I was getting a lot of DMs like shit, big bro, OG or what have you. You know what I mean? Like, you know, what you think about all this, man? Where we going with it? You know, and so we was having just dialogue like that, and like Gip usually answers this by saying, we just wanted to put on record, you know, some of the conversations that we were having amongst each other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it was just a perfect opportunity to do something and do it the right way. Like, we did it independently. You know what I mean? Like, this particular project was sponsored by Goody Mob and Organized Noise. Ooh. And that was the missing link from the last few projects, man. Yeah. Like, we hadn't worked with the elders.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You know, for those last few projects. So everybody was at home. We were centralized. We were kind of more or less, you know, obligated to each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so we just took the liberty, man. And some of it came about by just submitting and, you know, exchanging song ideas and concepts. And on the group thread, we got a big, long Dungeon Family group thread with everybody on there. You know what I mean? And niggas just like talking amongst each other.
Talk to me about that chemistry, though, man. I mean, did you feel any nostalgia getting everybody back together and working on that project in a time like this, especially on the anniversary of Soul Food at the same time?
Yeah, that was another significant, you know, significance in the time, man. 25 years of Soul Food, you know, celebrating that achievement. So it was that, but, you know, we stayed together. You know what I mean? Like, we in constant communication. Like, the pandemic actually defaulted an entire Goody Mob tour that we was going to go do. April, you know what I'm saying? Like, we were hoping that it would clear it, but it ended up, you know, extending itself and lasting the whole fucking year, like up until right now. You know what I mean? So with that, you know, we had just done a Dungeon Family tour prior to, and you know what I mean. So we all together. So it was real easy to do.
Cell therapy 25 years later, though, man. When COVID 2020 hit, we was in quarantine and stuff just got real as fuck. What was going through your mind when everybody was looking at y'all like, hey, man, y'all called this out 25 years ago, but this time we actually living in this shit?
I mean, sometimes, you know, like you'll come across some information, you know, it'll affect you. You know, it definitely affected, you know, the way that we went about doing music. Like, you know, we wanted to, you know, represent Atlanta, Georgia, you know, in a respective light. You know what I mean? Like, we felt like, you know, a lot of our elders and inspirations and this iconic city that birthed so many, you know, legendary leaders, you know what I mean? Like, who committed their lives, you know what I'm saying? So, like, you know, we wanted to make a commitment to each other and to the community, you know what I'm saying? Which is all one South, all one Georgia, you know what I mean? So,
absolutely.
You know, so that's the way we went about it then. And, you know, we just wanted to show the consistency and continue to work. I mean, like, because the struggle continues. You know what I mean? So, you know, we felt dutified, you know, honored, you know what I'm saying, you know, and empowered, you know what I'm saying, like, with the responsibility. You know what I mean? So, you know, that's what gave our voices purpose. You know what I mean? So I knew very early on that it was more than just mere entertainment, you know what I'm saying, or mere music. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was missionary work. You know what I mean? And so, you know, but not only for the sake of other people, you know what I'm saying, like, but the sake of ourselves. I mean, like, you know, it was an opportunity to you know, for redemption for us.
Yeah.
Because we ain't always had some good shit to say. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Now, I'm going to be all over the place with this thing, Ceelo, so, I mean, just get ready for me. When we talk about that Soul Food album, Gip always said that y'all made grown man music, but answer me this, how the hell was y'all making grown-ass man music at that young-ass age? What was going through y'all mind that made y'all say, you know what, we need to give these folks soul food versus just the regular music that's going on out here?
It's because there's a difference between age and experience. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got some old, immature motherfuckers, and you got some young motherfuckers that done seen way too much.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Snap.
So, you know what I mean? Yeah. So we wanted things that could grow old gracefully. You know what I mean? Like, you know, we had always thought of ourselves as like maybe the Beatles or the Rolling Stones. I'm like, why don't our careers and our legacies last that long? You know what I'm saying? Like, why don't we reference, you know what I'm saying, like those acts, our counterparts, like why don't we reference it, man, like and make the knowledge you know, like applicable to our own, you know what I mean, you know, ambition. I mean, so that's really what it was about. You know what I mean, and just to keep it going, like, you know, but then also show how we were diverse, you know, as the Dungeon family. You know what I mean? You know, just different perspectives, poets, hustlers. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like straight just, you know, straight just MCing. You know what I mean? Producing. You know, everything. So just like one collective conglomerate, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, power structure, you know what I mean, like to make sure you know, we represent the city.
What was it like having boys that you done grew up with, all of y'all going to achieve this superstar status though, man? Because I mean, I think that there can't be a better feeling than to see people that you played in the sandbox with, you know, reaching their ultimate heights and stuff like that. So what was that like for y'all?
It's crazy, man, because, you know, let's say I use Andre 3000 for an example. Like, we grew all the way up. Like, we go all the way back to elementary school. We went to Sarah Smith. You know what I mean? Like, I was living in Kingsbridge. You know what I'm saying? Like, on the south side. You know what I mean? And they was having the busing system. You know, come get the urban kids like us and take us out to, you know what I mean, to the suburbs. You know what I mean? So we definitely did that. Timo grew up a street over from me. So Timo, Cujo, and Gip are all 3 years older than me. So they came out in the class of 90, you know what I mean? Like, and they graduated with my sister. So, you know, I was a freshman when they was about to, you know, graduate. So, you know, a lot of people don't know that. I mean, like, I'm the baby out of Goody.
What high school was that?
That's Mays High, Benjamin Mays High School.
I went to Mays too, so I understand, my brother.
You went to Mays?
Yeah, I went to Mays.
I didn't even know you went to school. I thought you stole the professor title. I thought you know how people lie on their resume?
Yeah.
I thought you put that on.
No, but
so you really went to school?
I went to school, man, and I took it seriously too.
Okay.
But see, my thing is too, coming out of Mays High, that's what I loved about the Goody Mob, because y'all represented that Mays High, that southwest side of town, so that people such as myself, when I grew up, I had a point of reference.
Right.
When it comes to success and people from under, you know, privileged communities, you need a point of reference to let you know what it is that you can be and what you can achieve and aspire to be. Right. So by me having the Goody, Empress Cersei, you know, all of these folks coming out of Mays High before me, it was like, okay, I know I could be something in this motherfucker.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Empress Cersei, Lil Jon, you know, the whole black market, Robert McDowell, Vincent Phillips, who's going on to be a prominent lawyer in the city. You know what I mean? Like, they all went to Mays.
Exactly.
Man, like, you know, so Lil Jon, he lived a street over from me too. And they was like the what you call them? Like the weird kids, you know what I mean? Like
the backpackers.
They was the backpackers. They was the skaters.
Yeah.
I remember that they would take skate trips, like you see them coming on my head, Vision skateboards, you know, skating all the way to Piedmont Park to skate the little bike store out there. Yeah. You know, so I would hear about it. I'm like, damn, I want to rock with them or whatever. But you know, they was like, they listened to, you know, Fishbone and you know what I mean, like The Cure and shit like that. But I don't know if y'all, you know, everybody familiar with that kind of, you know, all that alternative rock music. But that's I'm basically answering your question. It's a trip to see Lil Jon be that when we were kids, but then end up being the king of crunk. You know what I mean? Like, you would almost think nigga just drank malt liquor all day.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
right,
But that
right.
ain't true. You know what I'm saying? Like, he actually comes from a very esteemed, you know, neighborhood. You know what I mean? Very esteemed parents. And so, like, you know, worked at Lockheed. You You know what I mean?
Come on.
Not to tell out his business, but you know, it's just a dope story, backstory. And then us, you know what I mean? Dre, was really quiet in school. You know, I was a fool. You know what I'm saying? So to hear me, grow and mature, you know what I'm saying? And try to be, try to be a better, example of things of what niggas could really do, how we could grow. You know, it's just a trip because like I said, we didn't all start that way. Everybody come from humble beginnings.
What was your vision for yourself, though, Ceelo? When you got into music, did you see yourself being Ceelo Green, the super mega star that you wound up becoming? Did you achieve what you saw for yourself at the beginning, or did you overachieve?
I overachieved because I didn't have no real expectation.
Yeah.
I knew that I was doing something constructive as opposed to destructive. You know what I mean? Like, I knew it gave me a sense of pride. You mean like a sense of self-awareness, self-worth. You know what I mean? Like when I was really willing, right before that to go on a kamikaze mission. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? Like, so, I wanted a better reason to live and to die. You know what I mean? Like, so therefore, not to be too heavy, but that's
I'm
really,
with you,
I'm answering it. But like, so I just wanted to apply some of that energy, elsewhere and build instead of destroy. And I'm like, shit, man, like, it could be done. You know what I mean? Like, so that's what it was. I just committed myself and I just didn't straddle the fence no more. And I mean, so it's like, there's a saying like, you can't straddle the fence without putting your nuts on the line.
That's real.
You feel me? You know what I mean? But I didn't know. I with Goody Mob, I really wanted to. You know what I felt like? I felt like I'm really surprised at any commercial success that we had because I was totally anti-establishment. Everything I've done has been to destroy it. So like you feel me, defame it, tear it down.
Yeah.
Disable it. Or whatever, man. So that's where I wanted to be an effective of enough threat to the establishment to where we actually made a difference. Carrying on in that tradition of the other social conscious rap that inspired me, whether it be Public Enemy, the whole Native Tongue Collective, or whomever. I got into that. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? And it moved me and it motivated me. And I said, like, yo, that'll be a good way to live and die. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? Like, like with a cause and with a purpose. So
songs like Goodie Bag off of that Soul Food album when you brought that thing home.
The question.
No, you answered it excellently.
You answer.
Songs like Goodie Bag off of that Soul Food album. When you brought it all the way home at the end of that song, Ceelo, just talk to me about them studio sessions and them vibes when y'all boys was going in there recording. And then also, did you feel like that Soul Food album would be able to stand up as one of the greatest albums to ever even come out of this city and the South and just in hip hop?
Man, if you ask one of the other brothers, they can answer more confidently. Like Timo will tell you, I knew exactly what we was doing. I knew we were doing something different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I didn't know. You know what I mean? And I'm really grateful for the method of organized noise, which was they just let us be. Now, if you listen to them records, man, some of them records, like even let's say Get Up, Get Out, on Outkast's first album with all us on there. That record almost 9 minutes long. It was 8 minutes and some change.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
it
and it doesn't even feel like it.
Don't even feel like it. But we weren't concerned about radio format, politics, none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? Just going for it. I mean, and so it was really kind of just raw and ungoverned, basically. And that was their approach, because we was bringing a lot of weight of where we was coming from to the situation. So it's like, I don't think nobody really felt comfortable telling Joe what he could say or what he can't say. You know what I mean? You feel me? They're like, nah, whatever you want to say. You know what I'm saying? So if you think about it, like we were doing a lot of things that were really, really unique. You know what I'm saying? Songs with no hooks, you know what I'm saying, to the end, or dropping the music and doing a piece of poetry, like on Fighting and stuff like that. So, but I didn't realize. All I knew that it was sincere and it was genuine. And it was real for us and it was real to us.
Songs like I Didn't Ask to Come, Bean, I'm Gonna Make It For You, the cycle that these young black men keep going through, I'm Gonna Break It For You. Talk to me about that, man, and your relationship with Bean and how that impacted you, because that verse right there kind of hit me hard. Now, I grew up with EJ the Witch Doctor, little brother, little Mario.
Yeah.
His teacher, Miss Johnson, which was his mama, she taught me at Kaya Heights. She used to take me from Kaya Heights back to their house in Greenbrier Acres, where they would take me to Ben Hill to play football, okay? And I grew up with that boy from the littlest of love. And then, you know, he was heading to the league. He one of the best football players that we had ever seen.
He got killed, man.
And when he got killed, that verse hit me again. That's what I was telling Timo about. I heard it before then, but it wasn't until I started experiencing different things in my personal life that I was able to relate to it on a whole nother level. So can you speak to me about losing people that you grew up with and how that impacted you and changed the trajectory of your life after losing these folk?
Man, we had a couple of people close to us pass on during that time, man, and they were just all going up, man. Like, I always like to say they going up on behalf of us. You know what I mean? So Bean was more of a member of Goody Mob at that time than I was. I mean, I was welcomed into the group. I mean, if people know the backstory, you know, they'll know that Gip was a part of East Point Chain Gang, which was Gip, Cool Breeze, Chief, OZ, and Cap One. Southside, you know, Cap One is Southside's father. Right? So that's that, you know what I mean? And they had just, you know, broken up or whatever, you know what I mean? And he came on board, but we came to the dungeon as solo artists. And Cujo and Timo started Goody Mob. You know what I mean? So, and Bean was just like the homie. You know what I mean? So we knew Bean from the neighborhood, like, you know, lively, a lot of personality, charismatic, magnetic. People love Bean. You know what I mean? He was one of them dudes where, like, you know, if it was a cut party or something like that, like, hey, we going to Bean house. You know what I mean? So just love, fun loving, you know what I mean, and just an all around good dude. So when he died, it almost didn't make no sense. That's what make it more tragic.
Exactly.
Somebody don't really deserve it.
You
know what I'm saying? So, you know, and then for on his eulogy, to shout us out, you know, mention us in the eulogy. You know what I mean? You feel me? I was like, damn. You know, so that was really significant to us. You know, of course, I lost my mom weeks before Soul Food came out, and then, you know, LaFace Records used to be right up here on Peachtree, right across the street from Lenox Mall. So fortunately for me, in a situation like that, I could just drive up and be like, yo, before y'all go to press, man, I want to dedicate Soul Food to my mom. So we were able to have those little conveniences, you know, like, you know, available for us. So, like, it was shit like that.
Guess who, when you spoke on your mom, man, what was that like writing that verse, and how did that impact you? But then also for you to go and achieve this massive success and not be able to say, mama, look at me, how did that touch you, man?
I'm going to tell you something real, man. I remember one of the few times before my mother passed, you know, she was, first of all, she was a very driven and lively, energetic, you know what I mean, like, go get a hustler type, you know what I mean, like, that was my mom. My mom was one of the first African-American female firefighters here in Atlanta.
Damn.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
you know, she was a special lady, and so when she was, you know, paralyzed, man, from the neck down in the accident, like, you know, to see her live under those conditions, man, like, you know, it's like, you know, I couldn't have, I got a chance to, you know how sometimes, like, you know, somebody could be taken away from you suddenly, and then you're left with all the confusion and the why, you know what I'm saying? You know, but, like, I got a chance to watch my mom suffer, so I'm like, you know, so I lost all the selfishness of being such a, you know, living that kind of way. I'm like, man, if she made a decision as she did, she didn't want to live like that, then like, you know, she let it be and put it in God's hands. But, you know, what I can say is there was one time where, you know, my sister, you know, left college. You know, she was going to UG at the time. She came home, went to nursing school, got certified. My grandmother was already a nurse, so my mother was at home with us. They took care of her around the clock. You know what I mean? Like, as family do. And you know, she told me one time that she asked to hear the album. You know what I mean? So I had like the first little demos of Soul Food and stuff like that. Maybe one of the first copies of the album. And she told me, she said she played it for her and played it all the way down. And she was like, You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think she was able to kind of like foresee, like, he's gonna be
gonna be
You
good.
know what I mean? Like, and you know, she had always, you know how parents be biased about their kids, man. Like, you know, she felt like I was gonna be special or be like my father or something like that. You know what I mean? Like way before that. Like, so she been praying over me, man. Like, you know, both my mother and father were ministers, so you know,
Yeah.
like I came around a lot of religion.
I feel you. I feel you.
That's where a lot of my vibration come from too. But yeah, a lot of love, a lot of prayer, a lot of support, man. You know what I mean?
Now, when you went solo, man, one of my favorite songs was Big Old
I
Word.
want to say this too.
Uh,
I died.
ooh,
My mother is alive in me.
ooh.
You know what I'm saying? Like, my mother is the accomplishment. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
you know, the energy, the you know, the quality. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like the depth. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like of everything I do and have done. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? Like it was the old me died. My mother lives on.
exactly. What exactly changed in you when your mama passed?
I just didn't want to disgrace her any further. You know what I'm saying? In death. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I needed her to know. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? That I was gonna make it right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, you know, those are that's my double down, man. Like her, and then also like I find it. You know, I got a high inclination for wanting to be pleasing in the sight of my maker too. I want to truly maximize, you know, the opportunity, man, to live out
Yeah.
of purpose. You know what I'm saying? Like be as effective and connective. You know what I'm saying? Like with as many people, many souls as I can. You know what I mean? Like for the sake of my own too. I mean, like you know, it ain't completely selfless. Like I need redemption. I did a lot of wrong too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?